Welcome to SelfCrafted Life, the space where you stop doubting, start trusting, and finally live as the real you. How to break free from self-doubt and embrace your true potential. Self-doubt is a silent force that shapes countless decisions, often without us realizing it. It whispers in quiet moments, before we take a leap, speak our mind, or make a change. It convinces us to hesitate, to defer, to stay small. This internal dialogue, "I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, who do I think I am?" is a form of psychological resistance that can cripple progress and erode self-worth. But what if self-doubt is not a fixed trait, but a conditioned habit? What if it's not your voice, but the echo of other people's fears, rules, and limitations? What if everything you need to move forward already exists within you, just waiting for your permission? This essay is a deep exploration into the nature of self-doubt, where it originates, how it manifests, and most importantly, how to break free from it. You'll discover how to recognize the voice of your inner critic, replace limiting beliefs, build unshakable self-trust, and ultimately embrace your truest potential. Let this not be a passive read, but an invitation to rewire your mindset and reclaim the confidence you were born with. 1. The roots of self-doubt. Self-doubt doesn't appear overnight. It grows slowly, often unnoticed from the seeds planted in early life. Childhood experiences, family dynamics, school systems, and early failures all contribute to the development of a cautious inner voice. When we're young, we are deeply impressionable. A teacher's harsh words, a parent's disapproval, or the sting of comparison with peers can begin to shape how we see ourselves. Even moments that seem minor can leave lasting marks. If you were told you were too sensitive, not smart, or too quiet, these messages may still echo in your adult life. Cultural narratives also play a role. Societies often impose narrow definitions of success, intelligence, or beauty. If you don't fit the mold, self-doubt creeps in. Add to this the rise of social media where curated perfection is the norm, and it's no wonder many of us feel like we're never enough. But identifying the root isn't about blaming the past, it's about reclaiming power. When we understand where the doubt came from, we gain the choice to let it go. 2. The role of social conditioning. Every society has unspoken rules. Fit in, work hard, don't rock the boat, be productive, be likable. These expectations are internalized over time, often without conscious awareness. As children, we're rewarded for compliance, not authenticity. We're taught to seek approval, not purpose. Slowly, we learn that certain parts of ourselves are acceptable, others are not. So we hide, we mask, we adapt. Social media, with its endless comparisons, compounds this effect. We start measuring our lives against polished highlights of others. Their success becomes our inadequacy. Their beauty becomes our shame. These patterns aren't accidental. They're designed. A culture that profits from insecurity has no interest in your confidence. Escaping this trap starts with awareness. Ask yourself, whose rules am I following? Who benefits from my doubt? Once you see the conditioning, you can begin to unlearn it. 3. Understanding the inner critic. The inner critic is not your enemy, but it's also not your truth. It's a protective mechanism gone too far. Its voice may sound like your own, but it often mimics others. The parent who doubted you, the teacher who mocked you, the boss who underestimated you. It says, you can't, you'll fail, you're not enough. This voice is loudest when you're on the edge of growth. It wants to keep you safe, but safe often means stuck. To understand, it is to disempower it. Name the critic, give it a character, talk back to it. Treat it like a misguided friend who's trying to help but doesn't know how. Above all, Replace its voice with one of compassion. The goal isn't to erase fear, but to speak louder than it. Asterisk. For limiting beliefs and how to reframe them. Asterisk. Limiting beliefs are the quiet assumptions that define what we think we can or cannot do. They're often so ingrained that we mistake them for truth. Phrases like, "I'm not good at math," "I'm too old to change," or "people like me don't succeed" might sound familiar. These are not facts. They are beliefs we've adopted and repeated until they became internal law. Asterisk. Most limiting beliefs are born from early failure, shame, or comparison. We touched a stove once and got burned, so we never cook again. A teacher criticized a drawing, and we decided we weren't creative. One rejection, and we swore off love. These decisions are unconscious, made to protect us, but they shrink us. Asterisk. Reframing begins with noticing what thoughts run through your mind before you avoid a challenge. Write them down. Next, challenge the validity. Is this true? Can I absolutely? No, it's true. Finally, replace it with a belief that empowers. I'm not ready becomes I'm learning. I always fail becomes I'm growing with each try. 5. The cost of living in self-doubt. Asterisk. Self-doubt doesn't just make you uncomfortable. It costs you deeply. It robs you of opportunities. It silences your voice. It keeps you in unhealthy relationships, unrewarding careers, and a constant state of hesitation. In time, it wears down your spirit. Asterisk. When you doubt yourself, you delay your growth. You wait to feel ready. You overthink. You settle for less. You avoid visibility. And worst of all, you begin to believe that your smallness is who you are, instead of recognizing it as a symptom of fear. Asterisk. To reclaim your power, you must first see what self-doubt has cost you. Only then can you choose differently. 6. Tools to cultivate self-awareness. Asterisk. Self-awareness is the light that reveals the patterns you didn't know were controlling you. Without it, you're driving blind. With it, you start to see the roads clearly and choose a new route. Asterisk. Journaling is one of the simplest tools. It helps you slow down and reflect. Ask questions like, what am I afraid of? Whose expectations am I carrying? Is this feeling coming from now or my past? Asterisk. Mindfulness practices like deep breathing or meditation reconnect you with the present, where fear loses its grip. The more time you spend in awareness, the less control doubt has over you. 7. Building resilience through failure. Asterisk. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every person you admire has failed. Some have failed publicly, repeatedly, even painfully. The difference is that they kept going. They used failure as feedback, not a full stop. Asterisk. When you fail and survive, you grow stronger. You learn what doesn't work. You refine your process. You develop humility and grit. You realize you're more resilient than you thought. Asterisk. Instead of fearing failure, start fearing regret. Regret of not trying. Regret of playing small. Because the only guaranteed way to fail is to never begin. 8. Confidence building habits. Asterisk. Confidence isn't built overnight. It's built daily. It's less about loudness and more about consistency. It's the act of showing up for yourself, even when you're scared. Especially when you're scared. Asterisk. Here are habits that build true confidence. Keep small promises to yourself. Track your wins, even the tiny ones. Practice speaking up, even when your voice shakes. Spend time with people who lift you, not shrink you. Asterisk. The more often you act like someone who believes in themselves, the more you actually start to. Asterisk. 9. Living in alignment with your true self. Asterisk. Alignment means your actions match your values. You're no longer performing for others, you're living for yourself. And that brings an unmatched sense of peace and clarity. Asterisk. To live in alignment, get clear on what truly matters to you. Let go of roles you've outgrown. Say no to what drains you. and yes to what fuels you. You'll lose some things, people's approval, comfort, predictability, but what you'll gain is worth far more. Integrity, self-trust, and authenticity. 10. Empowering others by owning your story. Your story, with all its flaws, failures, and resilience, is powerful. When you own it, instead of hiding it, you create space for others to do the same. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's leadership. It builds trust, connection, and community. When you say, "This is who I am, and I'm growing," you give others permission to grow too. The more you share your light, the more it expands. And someone, somewhere, is waiting for a voice like yours to remind them of who they are. Final word, self-doubt is not who you are. It's a voice you've learned to listen to. It may have been useful once, keeping you safe or helping you fit in, but now it keeps you small. It holds you back from relationships, dreams, and opportunities that are meant for you. The good news is, it's not permanent. You have the power to interrupt it. You can notice the voice, question its truth, and replace it with one rooted in compassion and truth. You can choose to live a life led by courage, not fear. Throughout this journey, you've learned where self-doubt comes from: childhood, culture, comparison. You've met your inner critic, seen your limiting beliefs, and begun the process of rewriting them. You've explored tools for self-awareness, resilience, confidence, and alignment. But this isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new conversation with yourself. A more loving, respectful, and empowering dialogue. One where you stop asking, "Who am I to try?" and start declaring, "Who am I not to?" You were not born to doubt. You were born to create, to contribute, to grow. The world doesn't need another perfect person. It needs a real one, and the real you, raw, evolving, courageous, is more than enough. So take the next step. Speak the words, send the email, apply for the role, set the boundary, launch the project, share the truth. Whatever your yes looks like, it's time. You are not behind. You are right on time, and your potential is waiting for you on the other side of self-doubt. Remember, the world doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be real. Keep showing up as you.